Hello, hello, this is the Happy Hippie Intuitive. My name is Nina and I'm here to show you my spooky decks. Now, I hope that I can show you all of them, but I'm not sure I'm going to have enough time because I do have quite the collection. So this is part of the video section called my collection. I have tarot cards and I have oracle cards, so it's going to be a little bit of both. And I'm going to do the most obvious spooky kind of Halloweeny cards first, and then I'm going to show you some other cards that you might want to use for your Halloween. I got some fly in here today too. What do you know? Yeah. So anyways, I hope you want to join me today. I have grabbed myself a cup of coffee. Maybe you should do too, a cup of coffee or tea or something. And we will have some nice cozy time together looking at some really beautiful cards. Okay, so stick around if that's something that interests you. Okay, now let's start. I want to start with the Everyday Witch Oracle. So this is kind of the one of the, what can I say, the most obvious ones, if you will. It looks like this, of course, on the cover. It's a mass production deck, so you can get it pretty much anywhere. This is the book. I'm not going to get into the book and such too much today. I just want to show you the cards. Now, on the back, they look like this. Now, this is a deck that's quite well known, and also the tarot deck that kind of follows with it that has the same back, but I will show you that in a minute. Now, these are very nice cards. They are beautiful. They are intricate. There are many details in it. It says a lot, every card, not just what it says on the bottom, but each card can be read very intuitively. And I really love this deck. It's a fun deck. It's a modern deck. It's a feel-good deck, if you will. I'm not going to show you all the pictures. Don't have time for that. But you get the idea, right? It's really kind of witchy-woo, yes, but in a fun and kind of innocent way is what I would say with that. So this is definitely one of my favorite decks. I use it a lot, and that's definitely one that has to be in the collection for the spooky decks or the Halloween decks, in my opinion. So that's kind of that one, okay? There are many flies visiting me today. Interesting. Okay, let's put that over there. Now let's just show you real quick the Everyday Witch Tarot, which looks like this. Now I got the big box here, so it's a big book with it. Beautiful, really, really well done book, this one, just to have that said. Now, this is the back of that. And of course the images is more or less the same style images as you saw in the Oracle deck. But of course it's kind of Rider-Waite friendly, if you will. So kind of based on the Rider-Waite, I would say, Rider-Waite Smith. And then kind of taking their own kind of creative turn on that. But beautiful, fun, as I said with the other deck as well. It's playful, it's kind of innocent and fun in my opinion. And also a deck that I feel like everyone should have in their collection if they do tarot around Halloween. So that's that. Put that over here. Now let's go for the next one. This might be some deck that you haven't seen before. For me, it's kind of a spooky deck because Game of Thrones was kind of a spooky show for me, especially when it comes to the dragons and the White Walkers, if you have watched the show. It's a beautiful box that comes with a cardboard box, or cardboard book, sorry. A hard-covered book, that's the word for it. Now, let's see, we have the back of the deck, which is kind of all the swords that you know from the throne. And these are the images, of course, from different situations in the show. Different actors, different happenings. This is the White Walker. Of course, Stark or Snow, Jon Snow. So yeah, it's a really good deck for me. I think it's fun. I think it's different. It's kind of a darker, spooky looking deck as well, even if you haven't seen the show. So, you know, it's something that I can definitely relate to Halloween and to the spooky collection for me. Okay. Ugh. Some of the cards are really ugly. But, you know, that's kind of part of the Halloweeny thing, right? So, yeah. I really, really enjoy this deck. I think it's really fun. So, that's that. So, that is the Game of Thrones Tarot. Okay. Let's put that away. Okay, next deck. This is also a tarot deck that, you know, everybody in their collection, or in their, that does tarot for Halloween probably has this deck, the Dark Mansion. And I have two different ones. One back looks like this, another back looks like that. That's the only difference, okay? This is kind of a rose petal finish to it, and it's matte, as you can see. And there's no guidebook with this, but this is matte. But the only thing that's kind of, it's difficult to shuffle it because they get stuck a little bit. So that's why I also wanted this version, which is a glossier one and easier to shuffle. This one comes from the Tarotteca Studios, so you have to look them up, and that's the only place you can get them. So these are kind of indie. The other decks that I've shown you so far are mass production. Okay, so, but let's look at these cards that are a little bit easier to show you guys. So this is the back, and this is gilded in gold. The other one was gilded in black, and these are glossy, and these are the images. Really fun, really beautiful artwork for me. I really appreciate this deck. One that just popped out, the Magician. Good sign. So you see, the artwork is the images. It's kind of cartoony. It tells a story for me, and I really, really love the images in this. And as you can see, if you go up close, is that there's little skulls here on the edges. So it's very, very Halloween-y for me, this deck. And mini monsters here and there, and of course skeletons and stuff like that. So it's really, it goes well with the Halloween theme for sure, okay? So definitely recommend this deck, which you can get at Tarotteca Studio, which I believe is maybe in Czechia or somewhere there. I do believe that that's where they are situated. But anyways, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so that was the Dark Mansion Tarot. Okay, moving on. We have many decks. Let's go to another one that's kind of obvious, and that is the Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck. So that, of course, is based on the movie Nightmare Before Christmas by Tim Burton. Okay, so, and they can find that movie on Disney, by the way. So, this is a box, very beautiful box, by the way. And this is the book, and it just shows the images quite easy. And so you have the back of this one, looks like that, with purple and black and white. And these are the cards. And that's, of course, situations from the movie, images, characters from the movie. If you have seen it, then you know. If you haven't, then you should. It's really fun. Even my kids love that movie, so it's not too spooky, but you should be at least 7 years old to see it, just to have that set, okay? So that is the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot deck, okay? Moving on. Going through them a little bit quick today, because I have shown many of these before, and also because I have so many decks to show you. Okay, moving on. Let's have a sip of coffee. Cheers, people, if you had a coffee or tea by your side. I have to also mention the decorations here today. It's a little bit Halloween-y. And these little pumpkins here, my boyfriend makes them. And also these rest in peace kind of things. If you're interested, then drop me a line and I can maybe ship you or sell them to you if you want. We have many of these, so you have to... his name is Creative Works. So you can find him on Creative Works. I think he's on Instagram. But yeah. Never mind. Okay, moving on. So, next one. Haunted House. Okay, let's see. Okay, so very little guidebook here. Not very much to talk about there. This is a Los Scarabeo deck. So, the Los Scarabeo kind of books are all the same. Okay. So, this is the back. I have edged it in brown because I thought that was nice for me. And this is the card. So that's kind of, the name says it all. It is a haunted house, okay? So there's all sorts of scary things in this house. So there's ghosts and there's some vampire-looking things and some scary nurses and stuff. Nurse Ratchet, maybe. Yeah, so really fun deck. Very spooky for me. Very Halloween-y. Yeah, I think it's a really, really fun deck, this one. I've used it a lot in my readings lately. So as you can see that the images here are very compatible with Halloween is what I would say. So, but it's still Rider-Waite friendly, you know, Rider-Waite Smith. Definitely. That one is so spooky. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but that's a scary movie. The Shining. Anyways, yeah. So this deck for me is very Halloweeny. It's very spooky. So definitely recommend this one. But easy still to read. It's still kind of Rider-Waite Smith friendly kind of deck. So yeah, there you have it. Okie dokie, so that was the Haunted House Tarot. Now I have a fly again around me. Maybe that's kind of the dead thing. The flies come out with the dead. It fits the video. Okay, let's move on. So that was kind of some of the most, I would say the most obvious choices when it comes to Halloweeny decks. But I'm going to show you one more that's of course very obvious, which is the Halloween Oracle. And then I will go into some of the other ones after. Whew, I have so many. And I just wanted to show you guys. It's so much fun decks to get a hold of, you know, regarding Halloween and the spooky. So it's fun. Anyways, this is the book, Stacey DeMarco. Very good information in this book as well. It works as a normal Oracle deck, but it's of course more spooky images. And this is the back. A really cool back. I like that. And these are the images. So, jack-o'-lantern, you know, the ghost, the cauldron. So it's very based, black cat. So it's very based on Halloween for sure. You know, all the images are kind of Halloweeny. So Dia de los Muertos as well here. So yeah, I definitely recommend this this deck here for Halloween. It's a must. This one definitely is a must for Halloween. Okay, if you do Halloween readings. So yeah, there's not so much more to say about this deck. It's just brilliant in my opinion. And the description as well of the cards are very good. And of course you can read them intuitively like I do, but that's up to you. So yeah, anyways, that was it. That was Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Okay, so that's that. Moving on. So let's see. I think I need to rearrange a little bit here so I can get to kind of some of the decks that are very typical Halloweeny, and that's two decks that I want to show you together. These two right here. Okay, let's see if I can move some stuff around here. There. Okay. So these two, the same makers, if you will. Barbara, Michael John Free, and Flavia Kate Peters have made both of these decks, Witches Familiars and Witch's Kitchen, and they have also made this tarot deck, which is called the Tarot Familiars. No, that's not them. It's called the Tarot Familiars, but it is actually made by Lisa Parker. This one. Okay, but they're kind of related, but I'll put that over there for now. But these two at least, made by the same, and two different kind of decks, but very Halloweeny as well. So let's look at this one first, the Witch's Kitchen. So this is the book. Good book, good description. This is the back, very Halloweeny, cauldron. It's gold gilded, this one. The other one is silver gilded. And these are the cards. So this is about the kitchen, you know, what the witch can brew up in the kitchen. And also there's, of course, a word associated and some images associated with this different, with the different meanings of the cards. So, yeah, I find this very interesting. And I'm not too much into herbs and flowers and stuff. So it's also interesting to learn more about the different flowers and herbs and the spices and stuff that you can use for different things. So for me, this is, it of course can be used all year around, but because of the look and image of the cards, especially the backs, it's very Halloweeny for me. And it's also about what the witch can brew in the kitchen kind of, and I think that's kind of fun, okay? So this is the way it looks. And so the back of the image is the same all the time. It's just some of the images that has been changed in the front here. So that's kind of how that works, okay? So that is that. So I've used those as well quite a bit lately in some of my readings. This fly is really bugging me, sorry. Anyways, so Witch's Kitchen Oracle, and then we're going to move on to the other one, which is Witch's Familiars Oracle. And that is, let's see, this is the book. The same way the other book was made, more or less. So, and the back, also very fun, with the cat there looking kind of spooky, and with the silver gilding on that one, okay? So, these are animals, and also related to different energies or words. And but kind of a spooky feel to many of these cards as well. As you can see here, it's kind of a darker image thing. There's a fly that's flying around me. That's really getting to me. Oh, sorry about that, people. Anyways, no, so this is a fun deck for me, most definitely. I have used it, as I said, quite a bit, and I will continue using it for Halloween for sure. Black cat. Okay, so that's that. So I don't know if you can hear that fly. It's on the camera now. 2 of them even. Wow. I don't know what I did to to call these flies in, but I guess it's about the death theme. Okay. Let's have a sip of coffee, people. Oh man. Okay, so let's look at this one. Tarot Familiars, Lisa Parker, okay? So this one is actually one you have to order. This is actually an indie deck from what I understand. I think so. I think I had to order it directly from Lisa Parker. But it might be that she has made a deal with somebody. I don't know, but I think I ordered it directly from her. The other 2 decks I just showed you are mass production. So I gilded mine in black. I thought that was really appropriate. Just edged it in black. Now this is the back. And these are the cards. And I really love these cards. These are cats and these images. Yeah, the suits are quite simple with only, you know, the number of different cups and stuff on them. But the court cards and the major arcana are very, very nice, beautiful imagery. So I really like it. These are very Halloweeny for me as well. The images and the kind of the witchy woo kind of thing that's going on in some of these cards, I feel are very appropriate for Halloween. So, but of course not everyone thinks so maybe, but for me they are. So I really like these cards here. They're easy read. I haven't used them so much yet, but I'm going to use them now more for this Halloween. They have been part of my pick-a-piles, but I don't know if they have been chosen yet. I have this things where you can kind of, I roll a dice and then you pick some different decks to use for your reading. So anyways, you can find that on my channel. Anyways, yeah, so this deck is for me kind of a spooky deck. It's the spooky vibe to it. I really like these cat images. It's really beautiful. Not only the cats, but of course all the others as well. And it's kind of witchy woo feel for me, these cards. So that is the Tarot Familiars, okay, by Lisa Parker. So that's that. Now, moving on to the next. Let us see which ones. Yeah, let's do this one. Witchling Academy Tarot. Now, people would say maybe that this isn't so very witchy-woo, but of course, since it is Witchling Academy, it's kind of a witch-themed deck, then I would say that it is. And now this is the guidebook. It's very good. The guidebook is very good. These are the cards. Almost fell over. Wow. So this is the back. Not very kind of dark and spooky maybe, but still the witch theme. So this is kind of the witchling. It's very cartoony. It's kind of maybe childish, maybe fun for the youth to use this deck. But I find it kind of cute. It doesn't always have to be spooky. It can be kind of cute as well. But it does have that spooky feel in the background as well. When it comes to witchery and spells and, you know, those kind of things. And that's why I included this deck as well in this in this show and tell today, okay? So yeah, I mean, it's as of course people look upon the witchy woo stuff a little bit different, but for me it's not just about what's scary, but also kind of what's fun. So yeah, I chose to include this. So that's the Witchling Academy Tarot, okay? So it's a little bit for everyone's taste here. Okay. Yeah, and that's that. This is a mass production, so you can get it anywhere. Okay, let us move on now to this one, which is very kind of Halloweeny. Santa Muerte Tarot. It's of course Dia de los Muertos kind of imagery on here. So this is a box that opens like that, and there is quite a good guidebook here. This is also Lo Scarabeo. I really like this guidebook. It's in different languages as well. So if you're Spanish, you can get all the information you need there as well. Okay. So this is the back. Really cool back, I think, with all these skulls around there. Do you see? So this is the cards. Okay, that was just it's made by Fabio Listrani. Okay. Yeah. So these are the cards. I haven't used this deck yet. So this is kind of new for me. Okay. But I have looked at the images and I really find them beautiful. I really find them fun, interesting, kind of cartoony to me. So they're not as scary because it's kind of a cartoony look to them. And I like that. So I'm not going to show you all the cards, but as you can see here, it's really, really interesting cards and beautiful, intricate artwork. But of course, all the cards more or less have skeletons in it. So that's kind of interesting, or skeleton parts. So it is, of course, Dia de los Muertos. And look at this, isn't that fun? Page of Wands. So it's fun, it's humorous, it's intricate, it's Halloweeny, it's spooky, while still being cartoony and fun. So that's kind of why I really like this deck, and I will be using it now in the end of October for more Halloweeny readings for sure. But this is quite new for me, so I haven't used it yet, and I'm really looking forward to using it. So that's that. But I do feel like this is a must for the Halloween deck, okay, for Halloween collection. Santa Muerte Tarot. Okay, that's that. Now, let's move on. This one is maybe not something that's typical, but for me it kind of relates because it's believe in your own magic, and it's also kind of witchy, a little bit kind of imagery. And this is the front and this is the back. You see the witches sitting here. And very good book, easy breezy. And this is the back, kind of the queen here. And these are the images. So some of them are kind of witchy or magic, or there's kind of a witch's hat every here and there. And so I feel it's related to the witch kind of thing, dragons, and yeah. So it's not scary, it's not spooky, but it's kind of that innocent witchy woo kind of feel to it. It's from my perspective, okay? And these are really, really beautiful artistry. I love the artistry in this. And that's kind of why I have chosen to use it quite a bit, also in my Halloween readings. Okay? So that's that. But of course, this can be used all year round for sure. Okay? So that is Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck by Amanda Lovelace. And this is a mass production. Okay, so let's move on. Now I have another tarot deck here that is, for me, very Halloweeny. It's Beautiful Creatures Tarot. Okay, the book is huge, but intricate, very good information. And this is the deck, and it's made by J.R. Rivera and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And this is the back. I really love the back on this one. Look at that, really cool. And it's gilded in purple. And that's very Halloweeny for me. And the images are kind of half spooky, especially if you're like my boyfriend who does not like dolls. He hates dolls. Then it's especially spooky. So, but of course, it's not typically spooky. But for me, it has that Halloweeny feel. It has that kind of witchy feel to it. And some of the images can be a little bit spooky, actually. Yeah, it's a fun deck for me. You see the skulls here and everything. And it's, as I said, the witchy woo theme throughout the entire thing, even though they look quite innocent, some of these dolls here. Yeah, so this is a deck that I have used quite a bit in my Halloweeny readings, and I will, of course, continue to use it. Because for me, it is typical Halloween, but another deck that can be used all year round for sure, okay? So that's kind of that, okay? So Beautiful Creatures Tarot is the name of this one, and that is a mass production, so you can get it pretty much anywhere, okay? That's that. Okay, moving on. Need a sip of coffee. Cheers, people. That's one of my guilty pleasures in life, people. That's coffee. Okay, so this is the next we're going to look at. Antiquities of Magic Oracle. And that comes from, I believe this is I had to order this from Amazon, actually. JillianCWild.com. See there? So that's kind of that. Now I finished my coffee. Yoo-hoo! Okay, let's look at it. So these are mini cards that I often use in the end of readings, okay? This is the book. A lot of information. You can also put your own kind of interpretations of each card in there as well. So for me, this is not a spooky deck as such, but the back of it and also the edging in black kind of makes it very nice when you're making a pick a card reading. These look very nice kind of on top for the Halloween reading, but these are just very simple images. So it's not that it's spooky or anything. Okay, it's more the it's more the back and the sides of this one. And just to have a kind of a Halloweeny looking or kind of spooky looking feel to extra cards that I use in different readings, okay? And of course these images can be, you know, interpreted pretty much any way you want. But of course there is a guidebook to it as well. So, but I really like these cards. I've used them a lot for the Halloween stuff. But of course, again, an all-round, all-year kind of deck to use as well, okay? And I do believe you have to find this on Amazon. You have to Google it because I don't think this is a mass production, but I'm not sure, okay? Yeah, anyway, so that was that. Now let's see another tarot decks that I feel is kind of Halloweeny because of the colors. Majesty for the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, okay? So that's the big book again, and lots of information. Very good book. Now we have the back of these cards are very Halloweeny for me. They're black and orange. And also every card is orange around and very black in the middle. So it's not made as a spooky deck, but because of the coloring, I feel like it's very connected to Halloween, okay? It gives a very good selection when you use them for picky cards for me. They are, of course, Rider-Waite connected, but they have made this very, very unique. The artist have taken, you know, has taken this to a different level, I feel. And it's kind of gloomy, it's kind of dark, which of course kind of connects to the Halloween feel. But the images are very beautiful for me, and I really connect to this deck. It's been part of my pick-a-pile as well for Halloween or October readings. And I will continue using it. But this is also, of course, a deck you can use all year round. It can also be a fall deck, you know, with the fall colors. But I just wanted to show you that to you as an option for a Halloween deck, okay? So, yeah. Might give you some pointers, you know, every here and there. So that is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot. Okay. Moving on. So, let's see. Another kind of For me, Halloweeny kind of thing is the Madame Endoras Fortune cards. That's not spooky, but it's I don't know. It's about the prophecy. It's about the witchy woman on the corner in the old days, you know. So this is the back, and these are the images. So it's not that it's very spooky, but it's something about the fortune telling feeling, and it's of course black in the background. It's black on the back. Some of the images are kind of spooky, like this one, the golem. So and Medusa. So it's the mysticism is more like into this. The witchy woo and the mysticism is more the reason for me feeling like this belongs with the Halloween decks. Okay. So as you see, very dark images, okay? So that's why I wanted to quickly show you the Madame Endoras Fortune cards, okay? So that's that. Now, let's see if I can put this away quickly. So that's that, okay? Now, moving on. I want to show you some decks that can be used for Halloween because they're kind of darker, okay? So Heaven and Earth Tarot. So this I picked because, well, I gilded it, or I edged it in black. I do not believe it comes with the black edging, but I have edged it in black, as you see. That made it even more spooky looking. This is the tarot, no, the book. Kind of just normal book. It's Los Scarabeo, mass production deck. This is the back. So it's very dark black. And of course, when I edged it in black as well, it became extra. And so these are the images. And the images are kind of dark, okay? You see this devil card especially is very spooky. So it's kind of a spooky feeling to the images, even though they are Rider-Waite-Smith kind of at least friendly or based on Rider-Waite-Smith. It's kind of this gloomy feeling to these cards. It's very gray colors, very dark colors, very little sparkly fun colors, mostly just gray and black and dark. You know, so this is a deck that really gets down and dirty for me, okay? So it's not a cartoony, happy-go-lucky kind of deck. It's more like a gloomy feel to it. Do you see that? So that's why I felt like this was I needed to show you this as a possibility for a kind of Halloweeny or spooky deck, okay? So you have some options here. Now, Heaven and Earth Tarot. So that was that. Okay, so moving on. There's another deck that's called Tarot de la Nuit. And that's also a little bit of a Halloweeny or spooky feel to it. It's also Los Scarabeo. So the guidebook is, of course, the same, more or less. Now, I edged this one as well. This one I edged in purple. Oh, my hand. Because this one is purple. The black and white and purple back. I really love this back, okay? So that's why I felt like it was good to edge it in purple as well. Now, this is also kind of a feel of a witchy woo, a little bit darker. You see the images are kind of darker. I like this one is very Dia de los Muertos for me. So, you know, Halloween is also Dia de los Muertos, or the 1st of November for those who are South American and Spanish speaking people. So, you know, so this is kind of a gloomy, kind of a witchy deck for me. It's a little bit of a hint of vampirism here. So for me, this kind of belongs with a witchy feeling of or kind of Halloweeny spooky feel decks, if I could say so. But it is, as you can see, based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, so it's easy to understand. But they have a unique take on you know, this one is kind of spooky looking. So they have a unique take on this as well. But I really love this deck. It's very female as well, very feminine. Feminine strength is what I feel with this one. So might be used also for kind of feminine readings, if you will. So that's that. So that is the Tarot de la Nuit. Okay, so moving on. Do we have time? Yes, we do. Okay, so this one the Chronicles of Destiny Fortune cards. Not necessarily your typical Halloweeny deck. This is the book, very intricate book, very good. But it is the, I would say, the back of the cards, and also the coloring and some of the cards. Okay, so let me just show you. So this is gold gilded, and the back is like this, kind of a spooky looking back. And also it's black edged and kind of black and a little bit gloomy. Do you see that? So that's why I feel like this can also belong a sinking ship. Da, 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 da. so and then ghosts, and you know, so for me it's kind of a spooky deck. Okay, you see that? You see what I mean by that? So it can be used as a Halloween deck for sure for me. So I have included this in some of my readings with Halloween lately, and will continue to do so, of course. That's the fly again. Hello. Yeah, so I really just wanted to show you this as an option for a Halloween deck, okay? So, you know, it's fun to look at each other's decks and stuff, so we get ideas for, or a different way of looking at things. So I hope this gives you something. So this is the Chronicles of Destiny Fortune cards, okay? Put that over here. Now let's look into another deck. It's the Spellcasting Oracle cards. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Halloweeny deck, this one. It's an all year round deck, most definitely. Kind of just typical Oracle deck, but the back here is kind of a Halloweeny look to it for me. So I chose to include this in a kind of Halloweeny deck, okay? It's not very spooky. But it is the back, and it is also to have the diversity of different kinds of cards in a reading. And some of the cards here are a bit gloomy, so that for me is enough to consider to use that for a Halloween reading. So I have been using this quite a bit for the Halloween readings, okay? So that's the Spellcasting Oracle cards. This is a mass production, and it's also made by the same ones that made the other spooky decks I showed you earlier, Flavia, Kate Peters, and Barbara make John free, okay? So that's that. Now, let's see. I would also just very quickly like to say that the Kipper cards can also be kind of used as a Halloween deck. This is the book, a kind of easy book, but good, because this is the back. This is Ciro Marchetti, of course, imagery. And they're black in the back here, so it's kind of, you can use these as extra cards. It's a really bit different system than the Lenormand or the Tarot, but you have the book for guidance, or you just read them intuitively. I read them intuitively. And so these, I feel, can be very much used as a Halloween extra, you know. I just wanted to show you that as an option. They're also gilded in silver, which is cool. So it's kind of, that has to do with the back, and of course the blackness of the cards themselves. Okay, so that's the Kipper cards, fortune telling cards by Ciro Marchetti. Okay, so moving on. Do we have time? Yeah, I think so. A little bit at least. Spellcasters Tarot, Steampunk Tarot, the Wizards Tarot, and the Witches Tarot. Okay, so this is Barbara Moore, Ellen Dugan. This is Melanie Marquis, Scott Murphy, and this is Barbara Moore again. So I'm just going to show you very quickly these different decks here. This very big book. This is the back of this one. This is the Witches Tarot. This is the back one. I have trimmed it and I have edged it in purple. This is very much witchy, but Rider-Waite-Smith kind of friendly or made. So it's not like it's a very scary deck, but it's called the Witches Tarot, and it's of course sometimes a little bit witchy in here. So like this card right here. So it can be used as a kind of Halloweeny deck if you look at it that way, but also of course a totally all year around deck. So the Wizards Tarot, this one. Let's look at this. So, Wizards Tarot book, same as the other one, very good book, intricate. This is the back, very kind of dragony. And these are the images, again, very Rider-Waite-Smith, a little bit of witchy woo. Not very dark, not very scary, but still the witch's theme and a little bit steampunk. So for me, it is good enough in that sense to be used as a Halloween deck. Okay, so that is the Wizard's Tarot. Going quickly now because I have so many decks and very little time. Okay, Spellcasters Tarot, Modern Spellcasters, same with the book. This is the back, dark blue and gold. These are the images, very kind of druid looking, not very spooky, but the back will do it for me. And it's just an alternative to the typical Halloweeny, and I like the back here with the that goes well with some of my other cards when I do a reading, so that's why I chose to show you this Spellcasters Tarot as well, Modern Spellcasters. Now Steampunk Tarot by Barbara Moore. Same with the book, more or less the same as all the other books. I have edged this a little bit, or trimmed it and edged it in brown. This is the back, very cool. Now this is of course a steampunk theme, and but also a little bit of witchy woo, a little bit darker colors. It was edged in black, but I wanted the images to pop more, and that's why I trimmed it and chose my own edging on it as well. So there wasn't any edging on it when I bought it, so I put a brown edging on it. So that's that. Steampunk Tarot can also be used as a Halloween deck, at least for me. So that's that. Very little time left, but I'm going to try and show you a little bit more. So the Lost Forest Tarot, this is an indie. You cannot get it in mass production. You get it at, oh, sorry, lost the box. Going a little bit too fast for my own good here. Okay, so this is art by Chelsea Santa Maria. Okay, Chelsea Santa Maria. So you have to Google her or Google the Lost Forest deck. I've shown this as another video. This is totally black, so it's really cool, and it's a lot kind of spooky, or it's lava, it's dragons, it's the spooky forest, it's the spooky underwater. It's really cool, and if you put all the different suits next to each other, it forms one long painting. So these are hand painted, beautiful artwork deck, and you have to look this up, and I have to look at one of my other videos. I think it's in my indie deck collection video. You will see how I put everything out, and you will see what the images looks like when it's one big image. But this is very kind of gloomy, dark, fun for me, and that's why I wanted to show you that as a part of the Halloween tarot option. So the Lost Forest indie deck. Okay, I do have a little bit more time, so I'm going to show you a couple more quickly here. We have the Black Cat Tarot, Draconis, and Legends, and Stokes Legends. So this is kind of with dragons, and yeah, this is the back, kind of cool back, and so this is kind of the dragon and the spooky and the witchery, and so for me that's enough for it being a Halloween deck. So I have chosen to include it, even though it's very fairy also and very nature, but it's gloomy enough for me to be part of the Halloween collection, okay? So even though it is unicorns and everything in here, it does have that witchy feel to it, if you will, okay? So that's why I wanted to just quickly show you that. I have edged this in brown. It didn't come that way. So sometimes I trim cards and I edge them a little bit because I just like them a different color, and that's just me, okay? So that was the Stokes Legends Tarot. Now let's see if we can actually fit these two last decks in here, and then we have been through all of them today. So this is the Tarot Draconis. This is the back, really cool. And this is also about the dragons again. So kind of spooky looking, some of these dragons here. So like this one here. So that for me, of course, qualifies for a spooky deck. So this is, of course, all about dragons, all the deck. But it's very beautiful. It's very unique. I find this very fun. I do believe these are mass productions. Both the Stokes Legends, the Tarot Draconis, and this Black Cat's Tarot that I'm going to show you in a second are all mass productions. So you can pretty much get them anywhere. Or you have to Google, but I do feel that that you can get them pretty much anywhere. So this is of course edged in brown. For me, I felt that that was the right color for the edging for these. So everybody is different, so everybody wants different edging. Tarot Draconis. Okay, so that's that. And now I actually have time to show you the last one, which is the Black Cat's Tarot. Okay, and very much I've gilded or edged this in blue, and this is very much because of the back. When I do pick a card videos, I would like the backs to look nice, and this is kind of a spooky looking back to me, and that's kind of why I chose this. But it's also black and it kind of darker, and of course it's about black cats. So of course black cats being very kind of the witchy woo or the witch's companion. Then I felt like, and some of the images here as well is kind of a spooky imagery, then I felt like this also deserved to be part of the Halloween pack. So like, look at this one, very spooky. So definitely a deck that I will use for Halloween. But of course you can use this all year around, but I think it deserves its place within the spooky decks as well here. So that's why I chose to show you this one as well today as my last deck to show you. Okay, and we managed within my 47 minutes. My camera can only take 47 minutes and 47 seconds, or around there, around that time for some reason. So that's why I'm kind of hurrying it through a little bit here, people. I'm sorry about that. But that's that. So anyways, this is the Black Cat's Tarot. Okay, so that was pretty much all the decks I had for you guys. There are of course other decks to be used within Halloween time, but I felt like those were the ones that was most spooky of the ones that I have. So I hope you appreciated this little video. I hope you liked me showing you some of my decks here, some of my spooky variations of tarot and oracle cards for Halloween. So I hope you liked this. If you liked any of my decorations here, then leave me a note and I will see if my boyfriend has some more of these that he can sell to you or whatever. It's very fun that he makes all this stuff, and he makes a lot of decorations that I use for my tables, so that's kind of fun. So you will see those in my videos. But anyways, thank you so much for being part of this fun show and tell. I really love doing these videos, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I gave you some ideas for some other kind of spooky, maybe Halloween-y Dia de los Muertos decks for you guys, okay? So thank you for joining me today. I wish you a happy Halloween wherever you are or whenever you're watching this. From my heart to yours, thank you for being here today. Bye for now.